Okay, hello and welcome. This is gonna be our playthrough of Guild Wars, the Prophecy missions, and we are three friends that just want to play for fun. Athene, Maniv, and myself, and we're going to play through the missions and be commentating stuff. And this is an intro video. There are some differences between Guild Wars and normal MMOs, and we'll just talk about them a bit and then get going. So Guild Wars is kind of a semi-MMO in that it's not built in the same way as an MMO. It doesn't have a persistent world. It has social hubs and then instances. So Maniv, talk a little bit about the zone structure of the game.
Well, the way it works is you go out of a town where it's the only place where you can interact with people, talk with them, and trade with them. When you then go out to a zone, like the first area you get to when you zone out, as it's called, you go through a portal, and then you get to a zone that is only you and those you're in team with that can see and talk with each other. You can't see other players, and no other players can come and kill the monsters you have to kill in this instance, other than you and your team.
Yeah, so basically the world is a big instance, or several instances. No griefing, no loot, ninjaing, or anything like that.
Yeah, it's a bit like when you do stuff like dungeons in WoW or dungeons in what's it called? Dungeons and Dragons Online. It's only you and your team who can see the monsters and those inside it. But unlike stuff like WoW, you can't talk with other people. It's only those in the zone you can talk with.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a bit about the basic structure. And you can only have 8 spells, or skills, as they are called here. Thundera, can you talk about skills?
Unlikely most MMOs, like World of Warcraft, you can only have 8 skills, which means you have to prioritize the most 8 ones you will use. And the spells differ. Yeah, like you can have 2 classes, which means you can 2 sets of different spells. And which means you have to take out the most most important.
Yeah, you kind of have to choose before you zone out which one you're gonna use.
Yeah, and yeah, you choose the 8 spells only when you are in a town. You can only move them around, but you cannot change when you're in a other zone, except from town.
Yeah, so you have to preset your skills and use what you have, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there are elite skills as well, from which you can only have 1. And those need to be captured by elite mobs. And that is a capture skill that we will get later in the game. This game is very solo friendly, as in you can have computer controlled henchmen or heroes, but you can also group up and run it as any normal MMO. And the class system, like has been said before, it's a dual class system where you start with one base class and then you can choose to mix skills from another class. Normally you use the skills from your class the most and then just sprinkle in a little bit of skills, but there are some builds that you can do some pretty neat stuff. And that basically covers it, I think. So yeah, let's get going.